So our agenda for today is kind of go over what's happened since our last webinar and where we're headed in 2025. Faisal Basar will handle those things. Michelle will do a demo of the Acumen Author Vendor Portal. We'll have a video demonstration of the Odoo shipping system. And then I'll go over news flashes, information about the REST optional module, about Acumen's version upgrade plan. And then we should have about 10-15 minutes to go over the Q&As and conclusion for that. So I'll hand it over to Faisal so we can address since our last webinar and our 25 goals.
Thank you, Brent. You can hear me right?
Yes.
Cool. So welcome, everyone. Today we have an action-packed webinar for all of you. A lot of stuff to go over. We've been working on some really exciting things which we would like to share with you. The first one is based on popular demand, we've added international shipping rates, USPS, to Acumen. And this highlights how important it is. If you feel there is a feature which would really help in your business, let us know. And when we have a lot of people asking, we prioritize it and add it to our feature list. So our job here is to make sure Acumen is working for you and is providing you business value and helping you grow. So the feedback is really important. We also updated our USPS and a new approach to how we handle custom shipping rates. So a lot of improvements there have been added. We have also added integrations with TaxJar and Avalara to our real-time sales tax module. So this will really help in tax compliance in various jurisdictions. The next is also we've been working diligently on internally, we call it future-proofing Acumen to make sure the platform is the latest technology and is able to support your needs as you grow as a business, right? So this includes kind of something called converting the older subtables to a newer technology. And Brent will talk a little bit more on that. In terms of our team and the people, some of you might know last year, we lost Joe Schwartz. He passed away. He was a long-term Acumen rep. A lot of you, we got a lot of messages from a lot of people on how close they were to Joe. So it was a loss for all of us. Going next item, we have onboarded 2 new reps, Kennedy and Mandeep, and I'm confident a lot of you have started working with them. They're up to speed and ready to support customers. Okay, and this is important. Upgrades, right? It's important as we move to Acumen to a more modern system. We want to make sure all our customers are on the latest version supported. So as of today, 76% of you are on version 10.8 or version 11. And I would really prod all of you to go to the latest supported versions. Brent will cover a little bit on how the versioning works and so on. But it's important to get the latest features, which is the author and vendor portal is one major important release we have done. A lot of customers like it. It's a web portal, so you can essentially give this portal to your vendors and authors, and a lot of self-serve functionality is included in this portal, in this web portal. They don't need to install anything. It works on the internet. And to take advantage of all these features and the ones coming later down the line, you need to be on the latest version. Also that, the older versions will not be supported. Brent will talk more on that. And maybe going to the next one, our 2025 goals, what we are planning on working. And this is a plan, but I'm really looking forward to feedback from all of you on what you feel is important for your business, right? One thing we've heard a lot of customers is Odoo's shipping system. As you know, Bista is a gold partner of Odoo. We're the top implementation company in the Odoo ecosystem. So we are in the process of rolling out the shipping system for a couple of Acumen customers. This is completely integrated with Acumen in the backend. And if you need more information, reach out to us and we can set up a demo. Next is the AV portal. We will be adding a lot more features, royalty statements, the 1099s for 2025, and so on. But here also, I would like to hear from you what more features would you need to help run your business, make it more efficient, and be able to grow. Moving next is, again, the phase 2 functionality for Acumen, which we are currently planning on the release. Of course, we want to have everyone on version 11, just to make sure you're on the latest and greatest, you're on the supported version, and also you're able to leverage all the nice features which we will be adding. Again, we will continue to work on our features of future-proofing of Acumen. A little bit Brent will cover. So this work will continue. We're planning to complete it by the end of this year or maybe early next year. We are planning on releasing the Odoo's complete warehouse management system in 2025 in this year, and that's our plan. If anyone of you is interested, reach out to us. We would like to hear what functionality would you want to see. Do you want to see a mobile barcode scanning in your warehouse, and what other functionality you would like to see? And again, a web-based royalty system is being planned. We don't have the timeline yet, but yeah, you can already do a lot of royalty statements and other features from the AV portal. Okay, and that's all from my side. Again, stressing there's the QA button. Feel free to reach out, ask questions, give us feedback. We are here. Our purpose is to make sure Acumen is working for you and you're able to grow your business and support it with Acumen. Okay. With that, we'll hand over to Michelle, and she will demo the Acumen's author and vendor portal. Michelle, over to you.
Thanks, Faisal.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yep.
We cannot see you.
Okay. All right. So the author and vendor portal is a simple built-in website served by Acumen that makes it possible for you to securely deliver royalty statements and tax documents electronically to the portal so authors and vendors can download them. This means you now have 3 options for delivery of royalty statements: mail, email, and the portal. And you have 2 options for delivery of 1099, 1042, or Canadian tax statements: mail and the portal. In addition, once vendors have a portal account, they can upload their invoices to the portal, which automatically generates an AP voucher, attaches the invoice, and alerts a designated Acumen user that the voucher is there. Portal users can update their contact and ACH payment information and set their preferences for statement and/or 1099 tax document delivery. In the future, if there's sufficient Acumen client interest, we'll add support for auto-attaching documents during business processes, such as delivering consignment reports and transaction exports to business partners via the portal. So let's take a look at the portal itself. Whoops, that's Acumen. All right, here we are. The portal is designed to be used out of the box. Colors are easily adjusted from within Acumen, and the HTML templates can be customized by your web development team. This logo loads from general setup, and you can load a web portal specific logo if the logo you've already entered as the default doesn't look good on the portal page, or if you want to show different information. One caveat about my demo environment, I'm running the portal entirely on my computer, so it's not actually a live website. So we're seeing this not secure message for the demo. When it's set up in a live environment, the portal is secure. The color of this bar, the font in the bar, and the font for these field labels can be adjusted. The default color is this bright blue. The portal uses responsive web design, which means it adapts to deliver the best user experience, whether it's viewed on a desktop, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. This shows the Vista web portal homepage in a browser and on an iPhone. You can see the color was changed to orange to match the Vista logo, and the page changes shape when viewed on different media. These menu items in the browser view can be seen by clicking this little icon over here when you're looking at it on the phone. So now let's look at the content of the different pages. All right, the home page shows author and vendors their royalty statements and or tax documents, and they can view or download them, which we'll see in a moment. Right now we don't have any, but that's going to change. On the upload page, vendors can upload their invoices, which automatically generates an AP voucher and alerts an Acumen user that it's been created. This user has already loaded an invoice for December, and I'll upload one for January in a second. You can click the description and actually preview it, or click this arrow to download it. Status is pending when it's newly uploaded, processed when the AP voucher has been completed and posted, and paid once it's been paid by check or ACH payment from Acumen. The info and prefs page loads basic author and vendor information from Acumen, and then users can update this information, including payment information. I don't have it set up in the demo data, but ACH payment information. And when they save changes, it will actually update Acumen. And this is where users can view and set preferences for how they'll be receiving royalty statements and tax documents. The account page is where users can change their username or password or email for the portal. Contact us shows how to reach out to you, and this information is loading from general setup. And clicking log out would log the portal user out of Acumen. The document management module must be on for the portal to be activated. It's a very useful module in general, not just for the portal, because it makes it possible to link digital assets of all kinds to records in Acumen. Some of the key benefits are documents attached to one record can be viewed from all related relevant records. For example, a vendor invoice attached to an AP voucher can be viewed from the vendor, AP disbursement, and check records. Document access can be controlled on several levels. The ability to attach and to view by table are controlled on a user level, whereas the ability to view a document can be set on the document itself. Certain business processes are improved with the module, several of which are used by the portal. AP approvals mean that a designated user must approve vouchers for them to post. AP vouchers can be created by importing the invoices. The bank reconciliation report can auto-attach during the reconciliation process, and royalty statements can be PDF'd and attached when generating royalty statements. So let's go back to Acumen and look at the invitations. So authors and vendors must opt in to having a portal account. Invites are sent from either the author or vendor record list. So you highlight whoever it is you want to invite. You can see I have the emails here, and then I just would create portal invitations. This is what the invitation looks like. The company name is loading from general setup. There's an invitation code and a link that the user clicks to create their account. And by default, the invitation expires in 3 days. They click the link and it takes them to the new account page. These criteria for creating a password can be altered in Portal Setup and Acumen. Users enter their invitation code, the last 4 digits of their tax ID, and the name here becomes their portal username, and then they go ahead and enter a password. When they click Create Account, as long as everything is correct, the portal opens up. The AV portal has portal acknowledgement functionality. It's an alert that comes up when portal users log on to alert them about news, actions you'd like the portal users to take, etc. And this one is the default 1099 web acknowledgement that comes with Acumen. These acknowledgements can be optional, more like a nagging alert, or required like this one. When logging on, users can't proceed to the portal without making a choice one way or the other as to whether to receive their 1099s via the portal. So let's send out some 1099s. Normally, you'd print an audit report first to confirm everything looked correct, but let's assume I've already done that. I'm going to leave all vendors selected since I only have 68. I'm going to only do 1099s, not 1042s, and auto select output evaluates each vendor record for print or portal and generates the tax document according to their preferences. So let's go. This dialog is asking me where I want to save the print batch for the 1099s. I've already created a tax documents folder, so I'm going to select that. And here it goes. 3 documents imported successfully means that 3 were posted to the portal. And here they are. It offers to print the tax document generation report, which I love. So let's look at that. The reason I love this report is it tells you exactly what happened. So it tells me, all the criteria that I entered in that dialogue. And then it tells me that 68 vendors were kind of chosen. And indeed, all of them could have gotten a 1099, but really only 9 of them met the criteria. And then it lists exactly who they were. And then if we come over here, it says where I can find the 1099. This was posted to the portal. This was put in the print batch, etc. That's why I love this report. All right, so now if we go back to Don's homepage here and refresh, we can see that he actually got his 1099 and we can preview it and download it if we click that button. If we go back to Don's author record in Acumen, let's just close that, go to authors, Don, we can actually see that it was attached. So there you go. You can see here's the 1099 we just attached. And there are some other attachments. These are royalty contracts, and that's that invoice that we saw earlier. All right, so next, let's do royalty statements. Oh, hold it. I forgot to show you a thing. All right, so if we go at the same time that over on my other screen, I've been doing other things in here. Let's get rid of these. At the same time that the 1099s got posted to the portal, this PDF got created over here. And this is a PDF of all of the 1099s that needed to be printed and stuffed in envelopes. So there you go. That's the end of 1099s. Okay, so now we're going to do royalty statements. You can generate them from the royalty file. or the royalty payment recipients file. The royalty file will print statements for all recipients for the chosen royalty record, and the royalty recipient file prints the statements only for the selected recipient. So let's just look at how to generate them from this royalty payment recipient file. I'm going to highlight all of them, and I'm going to find payments due, just like I do in the royalty file, my date. There, I've got 4. You can see, because I've added it to the record list, that there are 3 different statement delivery methods now. So this is portal, that's email, and this is paper mail. And when you're processing them for real, you'll do them in batches according to how the recipient wants to receive their statement, in addition to whatever other criteria. But right now, we're just going to look at sending these to the portal. So I'm going to highlight that one, and I'm going to create statement DM docs. It brings up this dialog. Oops, mistyped the date. There we go. Here we go. It got posted. Let's go back to the portal and look. I'll refresh this page. And there indeed, we have the royalty statement getting posted to the portal. If we go back to Acumen, you can see that it's now attached again to his record. Now we have that royalty statement and the 1099. And and the way that authors and vendors know that they're getting these documents posted to the portal is they get a little email. So let me show you that. We're getting a new document is available, and this is what it looks like. So it's just this little teeny email with a link to log on to the portal if they want to. All right, so last, we're going to look at those vendor invoices. So let's go back over here, and I will upload a January invoice. So I'm going to choose the file and give it a name and upload it. When I get this big green bar that says the document was successfully uploaded, it means that it actually has generated an AP voucher and attached the invoice. So let's look at that from the Acumen side. So one portal, well, you could have more than one, but usually one person is responsible for dealing with these AP vouchers, and they get an alert, a vendor invoice alert, when this type of invoice has been posted. So I'm going to click this tile, and you can see there are actually 2, not 1, but the characteristic is that the balance is 0, right? It's just getting posted, and Acumen can't know all the details. So the responsibility of this person is to go ahead and open it up, and then open up the document itself and fill out all the information, the account information and the invoice number and the total and everything from the invoice. You can open it in your browser to get a bigger view if you want. Okay, so the requirements for the author vendor portal are Acumen version 11, secure access to your Acumen server machine, properly configured email from Acumen, and the document management module, which is discounted if you purchase it as a bundle with the AV portal. Next, we will play a pre-recorded demo regarding the Odoo shipping system integration.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a demo that's recorded for the Odoo shipping system, which is just, as you'll see, is a way to automate the creation of shipping labels and communication between the warehouse and Acumen with that information. So here you go.
Hello, today I'd like to show you the Odoo shipping system integrated with the Acumen ERP package. To start off with, here's an order in Acumen. You can see it's customer 304 with a shipping location on it. It's going to ship to this address. We have 10 units of 409086 and 5 units of 44692 on the order. Also, this order has already run through the Scan-to-Pack system in Acumen. So you see we have these 2 shipping manifest records. If we open them up, we see that we have a carton 1 that has 5 units of 409086 and 5 units of product 446692. There is also a second carton with the remaining units, which is 5 units of 409086. Okay, so the order's been entered and it's been run through Scan-to-Pack. What we want to do now then is we're going to go to Odoo to ship it. So we are here at the homepage of Odoo, and we have a link called Acumen Invoice Import. When we click on this, this window appears that allows us to enter the invoice ID. If I had a scanner, I could scan a barcode that represents the invoice ID, and that would populate this field. I don't have a scanner, so I'm just going to manually enter this invoice ID 101126. When I click on import, it brings up that order in Odoo. As you can see, we have that same customer, Order Books, with the address that we saw in Acumen. We also have PO, the Acumen order ID, and we have the 2 cartons, the 2 packages that were created via Scan-to-Pack. If we open up the first one, we can see the same information that we saw in Acumen. 5 units of 409086 and 5 units of 44692 in package 1. Likewise, in carton 2, we have the 5 units of 409086. So all that information was brought over from Acumen via the REST API, so no duplication of entry is needed. So to process this, to just ship this order, first thing we want to do is we want to update the shipping weight of each carton. So you've run it through Scan-to-Pack, you have a carton, and you're going to put it on a scale. You would click on this update shipping weight. You can choose the carton that you have on the scale, and you would put the package on the scale and the weight would appear here. I don't have a scale, so I'm just going to manually enter the weight and I'm going to update it. I'm then going to do the same thing for all the remaining cartons. So for carton 2, I'm going to enter a weight, and again that could come across from a scale. We see now package 1 has a weight of 3 and package 2 has a weight of 1. Okay. The other thing I want to show you here is that this had the FedEx shipping method in Acumen, and that came across. However, if you're interested in shipping it in a different method, you can click on this Update Shipping button, and all the other configured shipping methods will appear with an estimated shipping rate. In this case, we only have FedEx and UPS set up right now, but if there were any others set up, they would also appear here, where you could choose to ship it via a different method. Okay, I'm going to leave it at FedEx US for now. Okay, and we're ready to ship it. So to do that, we're going to click on this Validate button. And what's going on now is Acumen Odoo is going out to the carrier. It's retrieving a freight amount. It's creating tracking numbers, as you see here. It's creating a shipping label that we would affix to the boxes. So we have carton 1 and carton 2. Both labels are there. Okay. And again, as you can see, we got a shipping cost of $109.19, the tracking numbers, and our weight. All that was done when we validated this order. Okay. Finally, we're going to come back to Acumen, and we're going to open the order processing dashboard. When we do this, Acumen's going to process those shipping manifest records with the information that was sent over from Odoo when we clicked on the validate button. So if you notice here, our order now has a ship date of today. If we open it up, we see that that freight amount that we saw in Odoo, 109.19, is populated in the order. We have the tracking numbers. We have the actual weight that was retrieved from the scales. And you can see that the shipping manifest records have now been processed. We have a process date, tracking numbers, weight, freight. Again, we can open these records up, and you can see carton 1 with the products that we saw, that we scanned in, have the freight, weight, ship via, tracking number. Likewise with carton 2, all that information is populated and the order has been shipped. So that's how easy it is to ship an order using the Odoo shipping system integrated with Acumen. One last thing I would like to point out is that in Odoo, we have various shipping connectors that work with Odoo. Right now in this database, we only have UPS, FedEx, and DHL, but there are other connectors like USPS that we can configure and so that you can ship via that method. Thank you for your time today.
All right, thank you, Michael, for doing that for us. Okay, and I'll go in with what we're calling our news flashes. And first thing to talk about is the, excuse me here. Is the REST optional module. Much of that functionality is already available to you via the e-commerce module, some of it anyway. Basically the same functionality that SOAP requests and ODBC requests, basically read-only data can be pulled from Acumen via REST. REST is really a very current, modern, faster, more efficient way to communicate between systems. In fact, like the real-time tax system that Faisal talked about, that is actually implemented using REST. So we're communicating, Acumen's communicating with Avalara and TaxJar via REST protocol. And we did the same with the Odoo implementation that you just saw the demo of for the shipping system. That's also using REST communication. Again, with the e-commerce module, you basically have read-only access to most tables in Acumen via that. So REST requests can pull information for your websites. We also made it you have the ability with REST and e-commerce to insert web orders via REST. And one additional feature when inserting web orders via the REST functionality is that you can define whether you want those invoices created immediately upon import, in which case there'll be, as soon as a web order is sent into Acumen via REST, an invoice will be created for it, so you can immediately start to process and ship that order. Or you can leave it in the same batch processing method that the current system, SOAP inserts, supports with that. You would need to purchase the REST module for more advanced interactions with the Acumen, such as creating or modifying records in Acumen, products, customers, that kind of thing. We also have methods built into the REST optional module for retrieving AR records and the ability to create receipts. So if you have a web developer that's proficient in REST, they could actually create programs so your web customers could pull on their website, could pull AR records from Acumen. They could pay them via your website payment gateway, and that would create a receipt in Acumen to support that. If there's enough interest in that, if you're something you're interested in, but don't necessarily have the web programmers to do that, that's something we could, if there's sufficient interest for it, we could add that to some of the phase 2 functionality to the author vendor portal and potentially make that an author vendor customer portal. So your customers could log in, view their AR, and make payments. So if there's sufficient demand for that, interest in that, let us know. As Faisal said, we do want to move Acumen in the direction that's going to be most helpful to you with your systems. Okay. Version 11 supports current operating systems. It's the only Acumen version that is officially supported under Windows 11 for desktops, as well as for Windows Server 2022. It's also certified from Mac OS X Monterey through Sonoma for running the Acumen client with those. The older versions may run on those operating systems, but they're not fully supported for it. We do anticipate that in version 11, there will be support for Sequoia and potentially Windows Server 2025. Kind of depends on when the release comes out for that. And then kind of tied to what we talked about earlier with the version upgrades and why it's important to get upgraded. I think most of you have seen, or many of you may have seen some version of this slide, and I'll go over what's going on with that. It ties into what Faisal talked about, the under the hood updating of Acumen structures, database structures. You know, Acumen started almost 30 years ago, basically, back when, you know, memory was measured in K or megabits instead of gigabits. And so there were limitations. Some of fields records, we could only have 256 entries in. And so we did these things called subtables to get around that. But those have been deprecated, and we need to move off that structure so that Acumen is running with database structure that works with where the underlying database 4D is headed. In this presentation here, the red lines indicate 4D versions, when they're released and for how long they're supported by 4D. Currently, you can see if you're still on 10.7, you're running on a 4D version that was released 6 years ago and for which official support and updates ended 4 years ago. And you'll see that the dark area here at 10.7, that's when we were actually making programming changes and putting in new features and enhancements. That stopped in summer of 23, a year and a half ago. The lighter shaded area here indicates there is the time frame where we did critical bug fixes. So we were still doing fixes for like changes for the 1099s, for example. We did that through January of 24. But basically at this point, there's absolutely no more programming going into 10.7 versions of Acumen. So if you're on one of those versions, you really need to think about getting upgraded sooner rather than later, and contact your Acumen support rep for that. Acumen 10.8, it's running on the next version of 4D. This is actually 4D version here, and support ended for the July. So we're trying to get this moved forward. We're limiting that. We'll only be doing enhancements and new programming in Acumen through the midsummer, through July. And then through the end of the year, we'll be doing critical bug fixes to 10.8. Beyond that, after 2025, there'll be no more changes to 10.8. Version 11, as you can see, that is on a currently supported version of 4D, the underlying database structure. This is version 20 of 4D. And you can see that it's, as I mentioned, it supports the current operating systems. As more support comes out, they'll be supporting that and making changes through July 2026. So if Windows 2025 comes out later this year, the Mac operating systems, as those are certified for their application, and there may be interim releases that support that, so we'll move on with that. And then going forward, you can see that we're basically waiting a few months after initial release, but then we're moving pretty quickly to do that. 4D, the underlying database, originally, Larry, we would wait quite a while, which is kind of why we were in this position. We started 10.7 after the release was kind of finished because it was the most stable. But their releases have become much more stable, and and on a scheduled basis as well, so we can manage it and we know where we're going forward, so we can move forward. So you can see we have development plans all the way out to 33 for Acumen with the new versions. So we already know we're headed this direction. So it's important that you get updated here so that you're on versions that are supported, have the latest structure underpinnings as we're doing those updates under the hood stuff. And we plan to get all that hopefully done in version 11. So version 12 going forward, we're ready to move on with the latest enhancements in the underlying database, which will allow us to move forward with that. And so that is right at our 45-minute goal. So I'd like to move on at this point to look at Q&A people have entered and try to address some of those. And so look at that.
And thank you, Brent. I think we've stressed the importance that graphic is really important for people to understand the reason we are pushing for everyone to upgrade, right?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Thanks for that.
It also shows that, you know, Acumen's gonna be moving forward a long time. Obviously, we're leveraging the capabilities and the development staff that Vista provides through the Odoo system for areas like the warehouse management and the shipping systems that aren't easily done within Acumen. But we also, as Five was saying earlier, we can move Acumen where it's going to best support our customers. So let us know how we can help you with that.
Yeah. And Brent touched upon this. We are thinking of even adding customer functionality to the portal and rename it to AVC portal. So essentially, it's your window to your partners, whether they are vendors, customers, authors. It will be the window for interacting and doing business with them, right? So, but yeah, I'm interested to see the questions, and Brent, we can go ahead.
Okay. All right. So if you look at the QA, if you press on that, you can see that we've already answered 13 questions in there. If you have more questions, feel free to contact your rep directly. Looks like the ones we have open. How many Vista clients are using the AV portal currently? If we talk to any of them about their experience. Michelle, you want to handle that? There's a couple of AV portal ones in here, I think.
Yeah, well, we have lots of people who are interested. We have one portal user who is midstream, you know, takes a while to get IT, opening up the web server on Acumen, et cetera, et cetera. So they're just still working on getting that done. And we can, after they get it going, ask them if they'd be willing to talk to you about their experience. But it's interesting because even giving live demos, you know, with real people that want to know more, and we can actually have a discussion. I learn a lot about people's strategy, you know, for gosh, I don't think I want every author to even be invited to the portal. And the truth is you don't have to. You can look right through your author list and say, this person is not a candidate. They need to receive it on, you know, printed on paper and mailed, period. And whereas these other authors, totally a great candidate. So, and then some people want to do it slowly. They're kind of like, well, we would like to do it, but maybe we'll only start with, you know, 20 authors, inviting them to the portal and just get that going. And then in the next round of royalty statements, we'll invite more and hopefully get more, you know. And so lots of good ideas come just even in a live demo. So if you want to have one, go ahead and reach out to me. And then as we get more people using it, that'll be one of our questions. Would you be willing to talk to other people about your experience?
And mind you, this is just to add, we've released the AV portal with version 11. So it's really new, but we have a lot of interest in companies wanting to implement it. We are confident it will streamline a lot of processes, whether it's 1099, the royalty statements, and maybe in the future, payments from customers, right?
Correct. Yep. And we're rolling it out now because we want to give people plenty of time to make their decision to get it set up and working, get the invitations out, get people assigned, you know, accounts signed in. So when it is time for 1099s, next January, that everything's already set up and ready to go. So now is a good time to be looking at that. There's a question here about currently using SOAP for web import. REST, SOAP support is going to continue going in the future. It is, like I said, it's a more efficient protocol, but if it's not broke, you don't necessarily need to fix it. One advantage, like I talked about before, is that REST does give you the option of having invoices created immediately upon insert. So, speeds up the processing and fulfillment. But if that's not as big an issue for you, you can continue. But at some point, if you're making any kind of website change in the future, you should include the change to REST as well. So you're on the newer protocol for that.
There's a question, will the portal be available for consignment distributions? Michelle, maybe.
Yeah, I'm actually answering that one. I'm typing it right now. So I'm saying it depends on client interest, and that in our next webinar, we have to figure out how to add a poll function. You know how they have those, because we really would like to know how many of you are interested in it. So in the absence of that, I would say maybe email us and let us know if you're interested in it, because it's an obvious thing to add, just like that AR capability, the ability for customers to pay via the portal. That makes so much sense too. So it's kind of a matter of setting priorities. So we just need to know how many people are interested. It's complex, as you know, you can imagine. So we just basically need votes, and then we'll look at what to schedule when, basically. So that's how we're doing it. We have a roadmap, we have a plan, and then we have all these development efforts, and we just need to schedule them in there. So that's my answer to that.
Okay.
And we can send the poll after this later to see what's of interest to people.
Yes. Question about the REST being used to transfer data back and forth between Salesforce and Acumen. Looks like Michael's typing an answer, a more complete answer, but the basic answer is yes. But then, the specifics of what needs to be transferred back and forth would need to be addressed. But yes, it would be a good way to do that. Okay.
And there's a question about SOAP versus REST. Of course, REST is modern and standard, but is there any other
that's what I
reason?
just talked in terms of making the change in your website for submitting orders.
And I believe performance-wise also, it's way faster, right, Brent?
Correct. Yeah. Though for most web orders, it's only a few lines, so it's not going to be significant. But what is significant, if you're pulling data from Acumen to display on your website, that is quantum levels faster. What could take 10 minutes to pull product marketing information for your website products on the site, you could do that with REST probably in under a minute. So it really speeds up the process of getting metadata from Acumen for your website if you're doing that. I see a lot of questions. Go ahead.
Go ahead. The question about the NUG, basically the network user group going away, and would there be a way for us to have a community solution where Acumen users can talk to each other about various things? I'd like to pose that to Faisal, because seems like you are more aware of modern solutions. The network user group went away because it was old technology.
Somebody proposing, at least three people saying yes to it, expressing interest. So that is definitely something we will look at. I did not know there's so much strong interest in this. I will look at it, and we will have some communication around those lines.
Okay.
And there's a question about the implementing Odoo shipping module without the WMS, and the answer to that is yes. That's actually, we have a client who's actually gone live with the shipping module. It does require the Acumen advanced order processing functionality, but it doesn't require the Odoo WMS. So that is an available option right now. Okay. Looks like more user network. Let's get together as an Acumen community support for that. So we'll definitely look into that as well. So, All right. So at this point, I think if there's other questions in here, we'll try to get back to you directly with some of the QA issues if we didn't address them. But in the interest of time, I would like to say thank you to everyone and for taking part in this. And we hope to do another one soon, and we'll do that. So if you have other questions that come up after you think about what you've seen today, please reach out to the Acumen support rep, and they can help you with that. If you have ideas for future development or features in Acumen, reach out to your support rep and/or Faisal, and we'll take that under advisement. And hopefully there'll be other people that are asking for the same thing, and we'll be able to move something in your direction. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Bye.